over the period, what we hear has to do pure and simple with regulatory compliance. We have all the good laws about small-scale mining, community mining, if they were adhered to, and that's your job, to make sure they are adhered to, we will not have this problem. People are not supposed to mine within a certain radius to the water bodies. But what do we see? All the water polluted to the point the Ghana Water Company is talking about 14,000 NTU, when the average should be 2,000 to be treatable.
Thank you, Samson. Please, can you hear me?
Clearly, sir.
Samson, I want to clarify just a few things before I tell you what I think or my perspective of the whole issue. Number one, I think I'm being humbled by the remarks of Professor Eni, and he just said two things which we need to pay attention to. Take the politics out, and we must accept collective responsibility. So let me try and answer your question along that line. Samson, so this particular answer borders on the issue of collective responsibility. Now, I wanted to separate what is lawfully permitted and what is illegal. Because in a way, it's also good I'm perhaps getting to the last speaker. Because you see, as we discuss the illegal mining issue, we tend to color the issue of what is lawfully allowed and what is not allowed. Let me just say this. There are certain rules and protocols that you need to get or go through to mine lawfully in the forest reserve. So for instance, and it's important that I explain this, it's important because I'm seeing a lot of confusion out there. People are making statements that are not right. So we need to clarify that. So number one, before anybody can work lawfully in the forest, you need some kind of a license signed by the minister acting on the recommendation of the Minerals Commission. Very important. You need an EPA permit, an environmental permit from the Environmental Protection Council. You also need a forestry entry permit. And then on top of that, you even need to sit down with the forestry and have an arrangement. So for instance, if you're going to destroy an acre, you need to do an offset and replant maybe 3, 4, 5 times. It's important we understand this. So something to the extent that you don't have any of these approvals or authorizations, anything that you do there is illegal. We need to understand that first. I'm saying this because nobody is talking about what Newmont is doing at Jendua Pebble Forest Reserve, because they have all the protocols, they follow all the rules. Nobody is talking about that. Number two, we've been mining in the forest reserve in Awaso area, bauxite, since 1940s, if you like, the Second World War. Nobody discusses that. And then even Chirano also mines in the forest. Why am I saying that? Why am I giving these examples? That is not to say that I'm denying the fact that illegalities are there. I mean, what we are saying is horrifying. So you take Newmont, you take Chirano, you take the other one, bauxite, and if these things are not being discussed, are not being mentioned, that means that something right is being done. Now, the question is, how do we sit down and people get up and go to the forest? And then without forestry entry permit, without EPA permit, without a license, carry out activity? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. Something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah, that's the question I asked you.
Yes, but it's not that I'm back passing. I can answer that one, but I wish Forestry Commission was here to answer. Is it the case that he has not got a capacity, or there are other issues? He will be best person to answer that. But then let me just come to the area that concerns me. So the Konongo one.
Hold on, sir, respectfully. You know, as a matter of fact, from where you sit, yes, that there are entities and individuals that are entering these places without the requisite licenses, correct?
Yes.
Those who are responsible for giving the licenses, who have watched for this to happen, should they be keeping their offices?
I cannot answer that.
Hello?
Yes. Those like your outfit, responsible for ensuring that you have a license to enter and to do prospecting or mining, who have watched for these breaches to go on, do they deserve to keep their offices?
Something, I'll give you a very simple answer. And it's important you know how the system works. So you have a district officer of the Minerals Commission at Konongo. He's a district officer. What is his job? His job is that he has a certain jurisdiction where he's been provided all the necessary working tools. He is to go around and ensure that persons who have been given licenses work within the law. That is his job. Now, in the course of doing that, it may come to his attention, either people being, assemblymen or persons living in the community will bring it to his attention and say, hey, activities are going on here, and it is his duty to go there and find out whether or not those people have license or they have all the requisite approvals. So he goes there, he sees that there's an illegal activity going there, and to the extent that he didn't handle and did the processing, it is illegal. What is he supposed to do by way our governance system operates? The officer is supposed to quickly inform the district assembly and says that there's an activity going on here. They don't have license, so please go and stop it. That's one angle. That is one angle I want you to understand. Now, what the assembly is supposed to do, as they're in charge of DISEC, is supposed to go there and go and stop it. So I'll give you the Konongo one. So the Konongo one, the officer goes there, he spotted activity, and he duly informed the assembly. What is the assembly supposed to? So he's done his job. So I cannot say we should dismiss the district officer of the Minerals Commission at Konongo, or perhaps I should lose my job because somebody was working close to the what do you call it, the roadside. So they informed the assembly that this is being done, is illegal. People are having mining operations going on within houses or the alleyways. These are illegal. What is the assembly supposed to do? Assembly is in charge of DISEC. All that the MC needed to do was to mobilize the appropriate security authorities, go there and clamp on them. Because the commission is not supposed to go and start evicting people. That's number one. Number two, some of these illegal sites, people are now carrying arms. People are carrying guns. I mean, you were in this country where, was it last year or 2 years ago, where some policemen were even humiliated, where they were disarmed, and then you had accusations by the person saying that, oh, there was this guy who comes here and now, because they didn't give them money, they're coming to arrest him. That's also one.
Yeah, in fact, recently, I think in the Kibi area or so. In the Kibi area or so. I'm not going to anybody. I'm just making a point for you. In the Kibi area or so, the DC for the area just recently has spoken, and he spoke about how he took a task force to want to clamp down on illegal miners. And when they got there, he said the task force was about 30 or so, and they saw over 100 people. And these people who are mining, they were armed. And he said they had to beat the retreat because they were afraid for their lives. I can't understand why this should be happening. But I wanted to draw your attention to the picture you are watching in your shot right now. That is Mr. Owusu Echao.
Something, hang on.
Okay.
You see, you should have paid perhaps serious attention to two key statements made by the professor, not the doctor, Professor Eni, the security expert. He mentioned two things. He says, take the politics out, and then let's look at collective responsibility. Before we come to that, I will answer that. Now, how on earth that you drive past Accra towards the eastern region there, and then you see illegal mining taking place behind a police station? Behind a police station. Behind a police station. You should tell me, because that's your job. Have you given any concession? Have you given any concession behind the police station? No. First, Minerals Commission did not give any license behind the police station. Thank you. And the officer there, I'm saying, I want to put this on record. I'm not saying we are a perfect institution, and that even there may not be regulatory challenges in those who are working lawfully. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just telling you, so if you live in a community where illegal mine, because there's no way we grant a concession or recommend the grant of a concession behind a police station. We have reported this several. So if behind the police station there's galamsey going on or activities that are deemed illegal per our law are taking place, and then there are several hundreds of people who are living in the community, they see the police people, and they are not doing anything, they are not arresting them, they are not prosecuting them. The other people who are living in the community, what do you expect them to do? They say, even behind the police station, the police sees and they don't care. Then the thing escalates. That's number one. Number two, a lot of chiefs are involved. The overlord of Ashanti, has been in the news of late. And not just one of incident. There's still so many people who are involved in Galamsey activities. So I kind of like what Professor Enin said. It's a collective responsibility. Clearly, the Konongo, I am putting the blame on the assembly. If the assembly has acted, we will not have what we are saying there.
Right.
So
I just wanted a quick one from you on this. The gentleman in your shot is Mr. Francis Owusu Echao. He's the NPP parliamentary candidate for the, is it Dwaboso constituency or Dwabin constituency? Dwabin constituency. Now, he's linked to at least those 15 companies you see there, particularly those who are putting in applications for forest reserves and the few who have gotten it. And you find that the companies he's dealing with, almost all of them have politically exposed persons who are in there within this particular regime. This is a man in the Interministerial Committee Against Illegal Mining who I suppose got sacked. And by the processes of registration, you require to know the individuals. You actually require to know their political affiliations before you give them a license. Under what circumstance does he become a middleman in securing licenses for entities in your regime?
Samson, let me clarify a few things. An application can be done by a company or can be done by a consultant. So maybe I would like to know from Seth whether he saw him as a beneficial owner in all these companies that I mentioned there. That's number one. I heard him somewhere because I think he was the one you gave him the second slot to speak.
Right.
If it's a consultant is anybody who could be hired to do applications on behalf of people. There are several mining companies that are registered with Minerals Commission and to provide mineral exploration rights and services to mining companies. In fact, Newmont, Goldfields and Co. sometimes even use consultants. So that is neither here nor there. I think the issue should be whether or not any of the companies listed there have been involved in illegality.
His company's website boasts of connections with the people at the top as far as the regulatory and licensing acquisitions are concerned.
Well, I'm hearing that for the first time.
Okay, is there something you will do about it if you are not happy about such?
Come again, I'm not hearing.
Is there something you will do about it if you are not happy about it, that the website, boast of the fact that they have connections with your institution?
I've just been told because I heard Seth mentioning that, and I'm quite surprised he has to put something there. So that is it. But we're losing it all in the sense that you are mixing his job as a consultant as against whether or not any of the companies listed there are involved in illegality. Perhaps what Seth he didn't tell us is whether the companies listed there have been found to be involved in illegal mining. I think that is the crux of the matter because the discussions are Galamsey. So let's be careful. We don't confuse his role as a consultant that is helping other people get applications done as against whether or not those companies are involved in illegal mining.
Are you surprised that the companies that they, discover, almost all of them, politically exposed persons within the current regime? Are you surprised?
Something. I'm not here to defend anybody or defend the indefensible. The question is there a law that prevents anybody from working?
Why does your law require a person to disclose their political affiliation before you give them a license?
Well, there are certain kinds of persons. Cannot, for example, if you sit on the board of the Minerals Commission, you cannot be granted a license because that will be conflict of interest. So we normally get this information to help us do that. I can't give license to members of the Minerals Commission board because they are the same people who make the decisions.
Okay.
Even where issues come up and they need to sit on it, they need to disclose their interests, etc. I mean, the boss of Forestry Commission cannot be a shareholder in a company that is applying, for example, to mine lawfully in forest reserve. So those are the things that help us make that decision. So I wanted to separate the two carefully. And then something, I keep hearing this ban thing. Something we've been there before. And again, the discussion is about illegal mining. In other words, persons or individuals who don't have all the requisite authorizations to go and work and they are working, which is illegal. We need to separate it from several others who have gone through the mill and have obtained licenses and are working. So when you say we should ban small-scale mining, even lawfully, I have a problem with that. But I'm first to admit that the kind of things that we are seeing, which have been described variously, depending on who is talking, environmental terrorism, environmental nightmare and catastrophe, I'm the first person to say that this is not something we should be allowing to continue. But there is also one thing that I want us to understand carefully, and nobody is talking about it. Something. What is that? The fundamental issue driving illegal mining. The fundamental issue driving illegal mining is getting a place for the miners to work. So whether we ban it, whether we deploy the entire Ghana Army, Navy, and all those things, the problem will not go away.
Okay.
You might get some respite for a while, and then to start all over again. So we will need to work towards addressing how to get a place for them to work.
All right.
So I was quite happy when I heard the Vice President saying that every year they'll make aside $10 million, CD equivalent, to assist geological survey, sort out the investigation. I've seen NDC manifesting saying that they will research geological survey. So at least both parties are beginning to understand the issue. But don't let's get emotional. Nobody likes this middle look-alike water body.
Tell me in a minute how you feel, because as we understand, when impunity is not punished, it will continue. How do you feel from where you sit about the glaring situations? I have sat here and interviewed even DCEs who have pointed to wrongdoers, including chiefs within their backyard, and nothing is happening to them. There are issues that have been reported to police, including the Akonta mining situation. And the president had to become a spokesperson for Akonta mining. How do you feel about these situations?
Oh, something, I can give you a very simple answer. I was born and bred in Accra, Newtown, also called Lagos Town. I was born 1970. I left Newtown 1997. There was nothing like bottled water when we were growing up. There was nothing like bottled water. We were drinking tap water, and that is service from Wager. That's Densu River. Okay? Today, I'll not drink tap water. But it's not about me because I can afford bottled water. But what are the people in my village who rely on these streams? It's very sad. Very, very, very sad. So that's how I feel. We shouldn't allow these things to go on. And then again, let me also correct Ishmael. He says there should be a ban on the use of certain machines and equipment on the water body. And I think my brother also from water company also said that we should ban everything on the water body. The laws are there. So we are not supposed
at the moment, you don't have that much support, because the majority of Ghanaians, as we can test their views, is that the situation is getting completely out of hand. And the first step, at least, is to place an absolute ban, presidential ban, on small-scale mining. Thank you very much, Mr. Isi.
No, something, can I respond to that quickly? Something, we got to be careful. I understand the outrage. We are all angry. This should not be happening. We understand the heavy metals, arsenic, and all those things. We get that. But then you should ask yourself, how do you sit down for people to get to the water body and then you don't go and kick them out? I'm saying that there are several other thousands of Ghanaians who have taken the trouble to obtain their licenses, and they are doing very well. So I keep making this funny joke or excuse that something, your sister is a prostitute. Of course she's not. So the other sister should not be married. Okay, so let's deal with the cause of the problem. Okay, just enforce the law on
the effect that one prostitute's conduct has will not be the effect that Galamsey will have on me.